All right, Howlers, let's get howling. But first, a couple quick warnings. First warning, this podcast contains adult content.
Don't be a pixie.
Second warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Spoilers.
For the entire Red Rising saga through the end of Lightbringer.
Including Lightbringer spoilers.
That's the point of the podcast.
We're being extra stern because we're getting a lot of questions about if there's spoilers. Also, for someone who gave a 3-star review.
3 stars, not 5 stars.
Not 5 stars, because there were spoilers. That's the whole point of the reread. Just want to... Everyone listen. Don't skip this part. There are spoilers. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Etsy. Email us, HowlerPod@gmail.com. And visit us at HowlerPod.com. Rate and review us. 5 stars only. Not 3.
Not 3.
5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we will make you boil alive from a claw drill.
And now, HowlerPod.
Ow!
War requires monstrous deeds. If you cannot be a monster, then get out of the way.
Hello, Howlers. Welcome to HowlerPod, your podcast for all things Red Rising, where every episode we dive deep to break down, celebrate, and discuss all aspects of the fantastic Red Rising saga by Howler #1, Pierce Brown.
Ow, ow!
I am your host, Ben Reinert. I am joined today, as always, by the amazing Erin Ayers.
Hello, Howlers.
Erin, what are we doing today?
We are rereading
And spoiling.
and spoiling chapters 18 through 25 and spoiling the rest of the book as well.
Yes.
And rereading 18 to 25. Sorry, we'll stop. We're sassy.
Let's load up this star shell and shoot straight into our chapter summaries.
Hopefully we don't shit our suits like Lysander, that pixie bitch.
You want to start?
Chapter 18, Virginia, the Returned. The soldiers that were on Mercury and then the Trash Moon have now returned to Mars. Harnassus, Screwface, Thraxa, and Callaway Char are home, along with, what was it, 500 people?
Yeah, like 2,000. Yeah.
Good at numbers.
From millions down to 2,000.
Yes,
so,
not good.
Yeah.
Virginia comes to welcome them, and she spends extra time with Screwface in a sweet moment, making him feel seen, and his sacrifice was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Victra informs Virginia that Severo and Darrow are alive after like a bait and switch, which was kind of rude, where she's like, I'm sad, just kidding. Victra says they were the ones who blew up the docks over Venus, and they don't know where they are, but Victra is certain that they are alive. The survivors then inform Virginia that on their way to Mars, they observed enemy ships headed to Phobos, and that they'll arrive in 6 days' time.
Wow.
Not good.
That's not good. Chapter 19, Virginia Rising Dirge. The enemy is coming. Republic forces and civilians gather in Lycos, where Darrow's mother leads a fading dirge at the gallows where Darrow and Io were hanged. The gallows are smashed, and Deanna invokes Mustang to go and be the wrath of Mars against the oncoming invaders. Mustang and Victra share a moment before they part for the oncoming battle. Victra tells Mustang not to fear for her, but to pity their enemy.
Pity them. There's a lot of badass Victra in here. I just wish there was more in the book. Chapter 20, Virginia, Nucleus. Much of the population of Phobos has been evacuated, but not all have cleared out. Virginia heads into the Nucleus, the military nerve center of the moon. Victra is in place with her ships on the north pole of the moon, and Niobe's on the south pole. The enemy armada creeps closer as Virginia's hive studies the ships. The armada surprisingly reduces velocity, even though speed is their only advantage.
Chapter 21, Virginia, Petard.
Petard?
Petard.
Is that a Star Trek?
I don't know.
Is there a petard?
I think it's just a euphemism for butt.
Oh.
There is a Picard
Haha.
in Star Trek.
Thank you.
Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Petard.
Petard. Virginia knows something is up but can't quite figure out what. Society and Rim forces have made several feints and withdrawals, but overall they've started the battle with a very conservative strategy. Suddenly the sensors go nuts. Incoming! A hail of unidentified objects streak towards Victor's armada of ships parked over the North Pole of Mars. Rail slugs fired from Earth and the Republic's previously scuttled twins of South Pacifica are on their way. All that posturing was just to lure Victor's fleet directly into the line of fire. Mustang quickly deduces that the Society forces aren't coming for Mars today. They want Victra. She sends Niobe and charged fleets that were protecting Phobos to help out Victra, leaving Phobos vulnerable to attack from the oncoming Lightbringer. It's time for a fight, baby.
She's like, getting ready to box. Chapter 22, Lysander, Iron, Death, Gold, which the way it's written out reminds me of Miley Cyrus's song, Love, Money, Party. Yeah.
Basically the same thing.
But Iron, Death, Gold. Ajax, Lysander, and the Praetorians ready for battle. Lysander gifts his white cape to the chagrin of Roan to a gamma red. He gives the Helldiver Corps a rousing speech about being patriots, which likens to his mother's speech that blasted into the mines. His grandmother. I apologize. His mother was killed by his grandmother. And then Classic. Lysander sends them off to dig a path with their Helldivers into the moon. Lysander then rushes to his spit tube. Ajax tells Lysander that the reason he's there is because Atalantia orphaned him. Brothers. They then load into their spit tubes and Lysander pukes like a pixie.
Chapter 23, Virginia, Grim Glory. Lysander's fleet makes its charge for Phobos. At first, it seems like it's not going to work, but Mustang sees the grim logic at work. He's using his destroyers as battering rams, trying to overload the moon's shields so that he can park the Lightbringer above and dump soldiers onto it. In an effort to combat this, Mustang has the shield lowered to keep it from being overloaded and knocked offline for good. This way, they may have a chance to get it back up and they can hold the moon. Her command does not see her logic, and they protest the order. But ultimately, the shield is lowered after some convincing by Holiday.
Like, lower the shield! Sorry that I did finger guns at your head.
Violence there. An oncoming destroyer collides with the unshielded moon, causing massive damage and casualties across the surface as the Lightbringer parks above and starts to dump their soldiers down for an invasion. Lysander's imitating Darrow, as always, and launching Claudrills onto the moon.
Claudrills, that's the word I couldn't think of last. I was like, what are they digging with? Thank you.
They're burrowing to the unprotected levels underneath where he can have his men launch their attacks. Republic forces work to get the shield turned back on so they can cut off the invaders from reinforcement and trap them on the moon. Kavix prepares to head out for battle. When the shield comes back online, he will meet Lysander's forces in battle and hopefully prevent them from pouring down the tunnels they are making. He tells Sophocles to stay and hands Mustang the jelly beans.
No.
Sophocles howls as he leaves.
So sad.
Sad. So sad.
Also, like, Pierce is really hitting the jelly beans hard. He's like, that would be like Sophocles feeding me jelly beans. Chapter 24, Lysander, Drop Shock. Lysander shoots out of a spit tube into the madness of the Iron Rain. He lands on an apartment complex where a green woman inside begins to boil alive as the claw drill digs through her apartment. The Republic took out half the claw drills as they were descending, and now Drachenjägers are coming to the claw drill landing site, so they have to hurry. Ajax and Lysander dive into the hole made by the claw drill.
Yep, they got the shields back on.
Yes, and they're cut off from support.
Chapter 25, Virginia, War Prism. Mustang is deep into the battle, managing it like a portfolio as she invests bodies and resources where they are needed. Her strategy seems to be working. Has Lysander overreached? Society forces are heading for the reactor. If she can get them stopped, then it'll be able to hold the moon and cut them off from reinforcements now that the shield's back up. Just one problem. They can't stop Lysander's group as they close in on the reactor.
Oh, no.
Ajax, the Praetorians, they're just too elite. Too elite. She tries to send Holiday, but Holiday's a traitor, so she won't go.
Oh,
I'm
my
just
God.
kidding. That's a joke. Hand up. That's a joke. She tries to send Holiday, but she won't leave Mustang's side
Because she's not a
so
traitor.
loyal.
Thank you.
She sends her last 500 Lion Guard instead, but they are no match. Lysander is able to shut down the shield, leaving Kavix exposed on the surface as Wrath and Vodum forces come in to reinforce the Praetorian vanguard. They were so close to winning, but now the battle is lost. It's time for triage. She needs to evacuate, but first, she must manage the retreat. Mustang does everything she can until the last possible second. Just as she is about to evacuate, a call comes from Kavix, except it's not Kavix. It's Apple. Lionheart, I have broken your champion, and now I come for you. I just wanted to add a spooky voice.
He says it like he's getting a foot massage.
You. I don't know.
I really hope you don't sound like that when you're getting a foot massage. You. Oh, shit. And then this reminds me of when we did Jade City with Words and Whiskey. You left me on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, this is a cliffhanger for show.
Yeah. Otherwise, this reread would have been
This would have been a long episode.
really long.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's move on to the theme for these chapters. We've got an abbreviated theme this week. Action-packed chapters, obviously, and we're bringing on a special guest later.
Oh,
so
this is a tease.
we're going to quickly move through the theme. I think the theme for these chapters is just chef's moves, back and forth. It's like Lysander makes a move, Mustang makes a move.
Who makes money
Lysander's-
moves?
Yeah. It's about
I don't
money
dance.
moves.
Now I make money moves.
Exactly.
That's what this theme is.
It's about money moves.
Yes.
I
So
shouldn't have said chess moves. I should have said money moves.
right. It's okay. That's why you have me. So step into the two people who are making these
Yes,
moves.
it's a back and forth.
Lysander and Mustang.
Yep.
And Lysander has Apple, Ajax, and Helios all in on this
And Diomedes.
and Diomedes
Mm-hmm.
all in this Operation Polyphemus.
Mm-hmm.
What's Polyphemus mean?
Polyphemus is the name of the Cyclops from the Odyssey, where, do you remember he eats Odysseus's friends? They get trapped in the cave with him,
Okay.
and then they poke his eye out, and then they try to escape the cave, but they can't, and then they he's got this herd of sheep, so they tie themselves to the bottom of the sheep, and the Cyclops can't see Polyphemus, and so he's feeling the top of the sheep as they run out of the cave, but they're on the bottom side, hanging on.
Sheep aren't that big, but that's a cool story.
I think that's right. I'm sure somebody will fact correct me on that if it's wrong, but that's the gist.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
answer. I didn't realize it was that involved.
I was trying to make a connection for why this was Operation
Polyphemus,
Polyphemus.
yeah.
I'm going to have to defer to Heather on that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Where's Heather when you need her? So, Lysander says to Ajax,
And we'll let Nick take it away here.
Operation Polyphemus is a sound strategy, I say. If it wasn't, then Helios and Apollonius wouldn't have supported it.
I like how he added a little
and Apollonius. I like
haughtiness to the whole situation. Yeah.
he and TGR do a good job of
Yeah.
making Lysander sound like a bitch. No, sound self-important.
But anyway, this is Lysander's strategy to, fire the railguns, try to take out Victor's fleet, and then that...
That's the eye.
Yep. Oh, there you go. Maybe. and then kind of opens up the pathway for him to attack Phobos and this way.
Who's the sheep?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure
Okay.
we're going to be able to make a connection
Great.
here.
Maybe the moon is the sheep and Lysander's trying to get under.
Somebody who knows.
in the
I love
inside of the moon.
my mythology, but somebody may know the story better than I is and do better there. But yes, so
Lysander's making chess moves,
and he's like
moving in.
basically came up with this whole plan for how they're attacking Mars, and
Yes.
and as we know, it ends up working. Like he's able to take Phobos, and it's interesting when they're talking about attacking Mars in last week's chapters. Like Fear Knight's talking about how terrible the war on Mars is going to be. Like it's going to be awful. It's going to be costly. It's going to be kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
He's like, and you can't even launch an Iron Rain unless you take Phobos, and you're never going to be able to take Phobos. And
But then he takes Phobos.
Lysander does exactly that. He gets kind of lucky in the process, but at the same time,
I mean, it's also
it's a gamble. and it paid off.
Lysander and Mustang know each other well, like from their past.
Yeah.
So they spent time together. So I feel
And-
like they're both kind of like, I know he has a trick. I know she has a trick, you know.
But they haven't been in enough battles yet to where
Right.
like people know their moves. Cause like you think about Daryl, like everybody knows Daryl's going to change the paradigm at some point and try something crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And so like it's like expected now. And so nobody knows that Lysander is going to do that type of stuff and like think
Yeah.
outside the box and like attack with claw drills and sacrifice.
Well, he's not thinking outside
Ships.
the box. He's copying.
That's true. That's right. He is just, nobody knows that he's just going to copy Daryl's strategy
Yeah.
one for one.
Right.
So like they're thinking, you know, kind of like along standard military tactics, and that's what they're prepared for. But this was just like a completely out of kind
Yeah.
of left field attack.
And the Lightbringer brings a whole
Yeah.
new paradigm.
Yep. And then also it just changes that they think that they're launching from actually just going to attack Mars itself and not just go for Phobos, which was a good move on Lysander's part. But
Let's talk about Mustang.
yes, so let's hear from Mustang from Nick here.
Lower the shield, I order directly to the shield officers. They stare wide-eyed at me. I jerk my head at Holiday and she bursts up on grav boots and puts a rifle to the blue operator's temple. Finally, he lowers the shield.
Were you annoyed at how much like everyone in the room was like, what are we doing?
Well, the difference here is that her blues are not oppressed and risking death all the time. So they feel like they have a voice, which is why they're like you can't just kill all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kavix is like, he has all these one-liners like, "Nation,
Triage.
triage." That's what he says.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was just like, you know that I'm team listen to Mustang at all times. So I'm just like, why
Yeah.
are these fucking people questioning what's going on here? Like,
Well, I think part of it too is she is not battle tested.
yeah, that's probably
So they're like, but why would you do that? No one else would do that. She's like, well, do you want some shields or no shields?
right.
You know?
Right. They're just not able to like think ahead in the way that like think
Yeah.
9 moves ahead like
Yeah.
she is at that point.
And
yeah.
think of all these different moving parts
Yeah.
are focused on that area. So
Yeah. So it's interesting to see Lysander like launch this kind of out of the box strategy where he's going for Victra and then launching this attack on Phobos, copying Darrow when he's attacking Phobos. But to see like how Mustang reacts to that, and then she makes her own moves back, and she almost beats Lysander in this moment. Like she gets so close. If they could stop,
she's needed 20 minutes.
I know if they could stop Lysander's strike team, if Holiday would go down there and stop him, then
Right.
they would have been able to get the shields
You
back
think it's
on.
Holiday's fault? If Holiday had done that though, then Virginia probably would have died.
That's true.
In the next chapter.
Well, not if she stops. Not if she keeps the shield up.
That's true. That's true.
So they got so close it hurts. It's like I really wanted her to beat Lysander in this moment, but
Yeah.
And then thinking about the ramifications of this, like, this is a huge deal now because you're thinking about Darrow going back to Mars at the end of this book, but Lysander and the society controls Phobos. So it's basically you're going to go back to a besieged Mars. Like, it's going to be
like Mercury was
totally under siege. Like, how
Yeah.
is he going to get back on planet? Are we going to have like a retaking of Phobos? Like, is Darrow going to have to launch some kind of attack on Phobos to
with
get
what
it
army?
back?
Yeah.
Well, he's got his armada now. He's got Diomedes on his side, and he's got all the daughter's ships.
Yeah.
So, and he's got his Obsidian. So maybe, like, I could see like Red God opening with like Darrow attacking Phobos back, trying to take it back, because like they're kind of fucked if they don't get Phobos back.
Right.
They're just going to be like fighting a terrible war on Mars. They're just going to be under siege
Let's
forever.
blow it up.
Ooh, there we go. That's like blow up the entire moon.
Yeah. We don't need it.
I like that.
We don't need a moon.
Put a pin in that. I think that's a good idea.
Hello? Ever heard of Rhea?
But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and like how Pierce makes that interesting, I think, because it's going to be hard to get Darrow back on planet if Phobos is under society control.
Right.
And it's going to be hard to like
Maybe he can duel with his
launch
moon.
it. It's not going to be hard to have like an interesting battle. I feel like, I guess you could just have them doing an Iron Raid on Mars, but that doesn't really like how do Republic forces like end them for good with that, you know, with such an onslaught attack from So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, yeah, it's like, how do we end all of this in one book?
Seems like there has to be almost like a space battle above Mars and then going to deal with Atalantia after that. But
yeah.
I don't know.
So I can't remember when we go to Darrow and Volsung Fa and Diomedes is out there, Lysander's captured, blah, blah, blah. The society still keeps hold of Phobos during all that?
Yeah,
even
I mean,
though
they kind of leave people behind. Yeah.
Okay, even though like the heavy hitters aren't there anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going to occupy it.
Yeah.
And like the Republic forces are all grounded on Mars. So they would have to like launch an attack from Mars because Mustang, she grounds all the ships. Like,
okay.
the whole fleet. So they don't even have anybody flying around up there anymore. So
there's defenses left on Phobos, but not the main leadership.
Yeah. It's just like it's going to be garrisoned and whatnot, but they're just kind of hanging out and just like not letting anybody get off or on Mars.
Yeah.
And just basically like, you know, starving them to death probably.
Hey, Mars makes her own food. and helium.
Helium. Yeah.
Helium's good. So now that we've talked about the theme, let's take a little break from the chapters. We'll go back to them with our special guest.
Yes. Please welcome to the HowlerPod stage the patriarch of Zeph Barbecue, star of Barbecue Showdown Season 2 on Netflix, and our Howler friend, Logan Sandoval. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Logan.
Ooh, my voice is all fucked up, so I can't do the full howl. But thank you guys so much for having me back.
A demure howl.
Well, with the chapters we're
A
going,
flirty, slow howl.
with the chapters we're going into, I feel like it's like a little bit of a depressed howl because I feel like I have a lot
Yeah,
to, like,
that's true.
I got a lot of repertoire to give back to the community and the fandom. So for everyone listening, I got dragged into this to be paid for my sins. So that's what I'm here for.
Yes,
We'll get into it.
we have come to put you on
Full
the
circle.
whipping block.
Yes, Logan, of course, joined us, I think, for the Lysander character study and the Darrow character study
Back in Dark
Yes.
Age.
back when we were doing character study episodes.
And you may know Logan as Zeph Barbecue
Yes.
on Instagram or food truckery.
I'm in and out of the discords. I'm like a wraith. Like I don't like to pay enough attention to.
Do you have a
anything.
Howler name from the Fade to Obsidian?
Nah, dude, I wish I did because like I'm in and out. Like I pay the patrons. I'm a big supporter. Anyone that listens to this book, reads the books, I'm a huge supporter of because it's such a big. It's a big story to me and like who I am now and like I'm just about it. So I'll take whatever Howler name, like Liquor or something. I'll take my strokes down. But like everyone in the Discord's call me Zeph, and like my name's Zeph's for a long time.
Yeah.
And the last time we talked was way back in the day, back in probably like late 2021.
Yeah, something like that. I think
wish
last time you
yours
came
would
on the
write
pod,
faster.
and if you guys remember, we did do an intervention on Logan for his Lysander
he-
fandom.
He said Loon Invictus on all of our memes.
I've been putting Loon Invictus per Ordo on every single post for probably like a year
And
and a
that's
half.
public. You can't take that back.
I can't. I've actually tried to go back and delete them, and someone's like frozen me in.
Yes. Yes.
So if this is the first time people are listening to you, tell us about yourself. Who are you? Why are you
yes.
here?
Give us a little bio and tell us about your Netflix stardom.
Yeah, my Netflix, dude,
Even
Netflix
though
is
you're
dope.
more famous now because you're on HowlerPod.
That is, I told you guys, I will always be back for the people who have always loved me. I swear to God. No, my name is Logan Sandoval, and I already got the thing down. Now that I've done all
Nice.
these interviews and shit.
Yes.
My name's Logan Sandoval.
Act like
I
you're
am-
on Netflix.
So my name is Logan Sandoval. I am chef owner of Zeph Barbecue here in Simi Valley. We were rated one of the best new restaurants in California in 2021, and since then we have exploded our pop-up and have turned into a catering business / pop-up restaurant business. We do traditional Texas-style barbecue through the lens of, modern day cuisine. So we do everything from fine dining, we do seafood, we do Indian food, we do Hispanic, we do Asian, which is my wheelhouse. We do everything then and back again. We have had 3 publications in Los Angeles Times. We have 2 publications in the New York Times. We have 6 publications in Eater LA. We have 2 publications in Eater National. And there's a bunch of other like little stuff too. On the side, all these different magazines.
And
We've been internationally published.
This man is bona fide. In other words, he's bona fide.
Your Instagram is literal food porn.
Oh my God. I've been thinking
Erin
about
always gets-
eating.
Eric is always excited. I appreciate you guys.
Do you know how much I love fried chicken sandwiches? You just
dude, we're selling
posted
fried
a
chicken.
fried chicken sandwich. I was like,
This
I
weekend.
would, if there is a fried chicken sandwich on the menu, I'm getting it.
I know.
That and taco
got-
salad.
I've been like looking at Logan's food online for so long now, and I'm just like, God, I want that so bad.
Dude,
we want to
everyone
come
knows-
visit you just to eat your food.
Bro, everyone knows better than me. Like, yo, put a fucking word in Pierce Brown's ear. I won't even
Yeah.
charge y'all. I will cater the next fucking Howler dinner. I swear to God.
we got this.
That's a lot of food.
Yes.
But no, a ton of food. But yeah,
That's
I've
what
done
yes.
everything.
You need to
I've
be the
done
next
everything-
special chef for the Howler
Yeah.
dinner. Yeah.
Dude, I
do
would
it.
just give my soul. I'd sell my children, all 3 of them. I'm now here
Don't
and
need 'em.
back. Yeah, and it's just been a crazy couple years with Zeph Barbecue, and we've been in a bunch of publications, and then most recently, we were top 12 barbecue restaurants in California. But before that, I was on the hit show Barbecue Showdown on Netflix, which was amazing. If you guys were at HowlerCon, you guys saw Ben wearing a Zeph Barbecue T-shirt, which warmed my
Yes.
soul so much from the YouTube brand.
Everyone was like, sick shirt.
I did get a lot of
support is
compliments
real.
on the shirt.
Yeah.
Well, dude, because they dressed me up
It's a
in
good
freaking
shirt.
tie-dye for 8 episodes, and I was just like, but it was a lot of fun. It was very grueling. I went in with my fucking dick kind of hanging out a little bit and like, going for necks. And then in one of the episodes, I won't say which one, I kind of got chin checked and I kind of like came back from there. Not to spoil it. I did very
Yeah.
well, but not
You
well
did
enough.
really well. Yeah.
Not as well as I could have. But that's what
We're
I've been
proud
doing.
of you.
I think you were the star of the show for
Personality wise,
yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've gotten a ton of good feedback back, and like there's a lot of brand deals going on right now. There's a lot of people talking. Like, there's been a lot of approach about opening up a restaurant, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I
You
don't know
did
if
a
guys know,
fucking
or-
April Fools. We all thought you opened a
I
restaurant.
just, but dude, I would never move into that space. And, dude, I
We were like, congrats, that's cool.
so were you?
I'm
and
so
like,
happy for my friend.
So were you?
Bastard.
And like 900 other people. That was the best April Fool's.
That
I
was
think I've
probably
ever
the
had.
only April Fools that got me.
I know. I was like,
There was a
how
lot of
did I
people that
fall
said
for
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, and I googled a bunch of like schematics from different like barbecue restaurants in Texas. And I threw them up
Nice.
there, and like my buddy who does all our menus, we like.
It was a well done prank.
Yeah, we do what we can. So to wrap that
should've
up,
known better.
I'm a kind of well-known person in barbecue in California. I've been on TV quite a bit now. But my favorite thing to do is talk about Red Rising and be about Red Rising.
Please
And
tell us about hanging out with Pierce at Comic-Con.
I was tripping on mushrooms, so I don't.
The God spread?
I wasn't going to out you. Weren't you wearing a tutu?
I was wearing a Sailor Moon outfit, yes. And I got separated from my group, and I found my way to my signing
You have to have
spot.
a buddy.
I didn't need a buddy. My buddy was myself. And fucking God's bread. That's real shit. Yeah. And like
You went in like a true berserker.
Yes. And I saw him at Comic-Con twice. The first day was a lot more like, I got in line with a bunch of people, and it was cool to talk about. Because I had actually received the day before that, before Pierce was even there in San Diego, I was actually the first one to buy with cash money, because I was the first one in line, an actual like copy of,
Hell
Lightbringer.
That's
Before
sick.
the ARC versions, before the pre-sales and everything. I was the first one in the first line at Comic-Con, 6 days ahead of before it was released.
And you didn't mail it to us?
No, that's mine, motherfuckers. Come on, bro. No, it was a really cool experience. But then the next day, like me and my friends were partying. We do it every year. My buddy Kirby, who's also my sous chef, his dad is one of the guys that started Comic-Con back in the late 70s, early 80s. So he gets free tickets every year. We get it on the floor on exhibition day. And so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I got really nervous the second day because I was standing in line and like my trip was just like setting on more and more. And I was like, what am I talking about? And so like I got my
And you're in a Sailor Moon dress.
skirt, Sailor Moon skirt. Okay, there's a big difference between a dress and a skirt.
Sailor Moon. Oh, I've seen all the episodes.
If you go to Instagram, you can see these things in live fashion. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But the second day, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. And he signed both my PB Doodles, like original Ragnar and Lorne drawings. Those are the OG ones that have been.
Yes.
Everyone that's listening to this should probably have a print or a sticker from PB Doodles at this point. And I have the OGs, and I also have it tattooed on my chest, which is an extreme part of Howler.
Yes, you have like the original drawings, right?
You're one of the tattooed Howlers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, flash it. If you're not watching YouTube right now, you missed the nip slip.
Everyone just saw a nip. No, but yeah, so it was a lot of fun. But the whole Sailor Moon outfit, and like Pierce was just like the confidence. I am impressed. I was like, it took me a long time to get here. And dude, I was in the back of the line. I had to fucking sweet talk one of the security guards because the line had been cut off, and so I was like, you gotta I need these things signed. And you're only allowed to have 2 things signed, and like I like rolled up with like a flag that another Howler here in Simi Valley had given me, and like there's a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I need to get the PB Doodle shit signed.
Yeah.
And she was so stoked too when I talked to her.
Nice.
That's so fun.
So, yeah,
we loved hearing about it. We were we driving to Oklahoma when he was
Texas, yeah.
For a wedding, yeah. We were driving to Texas, and we were wanting Logan to like live stream, but he was like, sorry, I'm too fucked up.
I was like, the fucking word and whiskey guys were there too. I'm just like,
yeah, we're like, we need updates. You're like, I can't use my phone.
Fucking dude, my phone is trying to eat my hand right now. Like, I'm trying to knock it out of this line because I really want this shit signed. Anyway, the moment, because I've met him a couple times before now, and he always calls me like Baby Ragnar, and like, dude, the moment he was just like, "What's up, Logan?" I was just like, yeah, cool. Like, I just need this shit signed. I need really
be cool,
need to go.
Be cool.
Dude,
sorry, I'm sweaty.
So much. And I've been sitting in that line for like 45 minutes because like when I went to try to go get in the line, I was like, oh, I'm coming up, being in and out, and then like I got there and the line was fucking like 120 people deep, and I was like,
jeez,
shit.
yeah, he's popular, man.
It's getting more popular. I mean, I tell you what, when we all started reading this shit, it was not like this. Even when I went to go buy, I remember. Long story for a short story, I remember when they were handing out copies of Red Rising for free at Comic-Con back in 2013, 14,
awesome.
whatever
you gotta
year.
shell out
just like
$27.
Yeah, I think like
for
HowlerCon,
the hard copy it was like 40.
I know.
And now there's
HowlerCon
like
really
special
was
editions.
For me, that was like, wow, this is actually like, it's really,
this is cool.
it's pretty serious.
It's grown.
We're
it's
cool
starting
nerds.
to, it's starting to grow.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
that's fun. Well, we've enjoyed this journey with you.
I know it's been awesome to watch your rise. Like you're my hero, man. It's been cool.
You're the only person we know, I think, I don't know, who's been on TV. That's probably not true. But
But like that, for sure.
Yeah.
I will tell you what, dude,
I can't.
I do appreciate that shit when Ben was like, "What are we into this week? We're into watching Logan on fucking TV." And Aaron was like,
Yes.
"He's like more famous than Pierce now." I was like, "Maybe
Yes.
a fucking meeting." Because
Yeah.
he's here in LA.
Dude, I
he's
was
somewhere out
fucking
here.
living and dying watching that show. I was so
Yeah.
into it.
And I
Stresses
don't
some
even
people
like.
out.
I don't like reality because it gives me anxiety. But I had to root for you, so.
I appreciate
God.
it, dude. And it was a cool show too because it really let me like. Dude, I was showing my ass on that show. I was doing some cool shit because
Yeah.
dude, I have to worry about food costs and like making sure shit gets paid here. But dude, when they're like, here's some of the best meat you can get in the country, here's some of the best tools you can use in the country, here's some of the best like equipment you can use, the best wood. I was like, let's fucking go, man. And those were long days too. They were long days. Some of those challenges were like 7-8 hours long.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
Yeah, it was grueling.
The
It was grueling. I was
stamina.
out there for like a month and a half. It's a month and a half of filming in Georgia.
And then you can't like tell anyone what
For
the
almost a
outcome
year
is
and a
until it
half.
comes out. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you tell
I
your
told you
family?
guys, right? I told you guys.
No,
No,
we had no idea.
Oh, I thought
No.
I did. No, I told my family, but like the Indian
I think you
A's
had
are.
hinted you were doing something to me at one point, but yeah, it was like,
But it's
But
a
dude,
secret.
yeah.
The NDAs are from Netflix are insane. Like I can't even.
You're like,
compete
I
again
can't put that in
until-
writing.
No, and I can't compete again until May, like on TV.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can do like other
wow.
shit. Like I filmed with Cedric the
Yeah.
Entertainer and some other people leading up to this. I still have a contract with
Damn.
Tastemade, but other than that, like I can't like, dude, I'm trying to win more money, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm broke, motherfucker. Like
Well, I'm sorry.
TV's great, but unless it's
we
making me
don't-
money, huh?
We don't pay here at HowlerPod. Actually, you owe us money.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are the OGs. You guys are the OGs. I appreciate
All right,
it.
let's-
And
let's-
as always, thank you for coming. Like Aaron's like, come on,
Yes.
guys, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lightbringer.
Yes. Okay. I need to hear about I've kind of talked to you about this, but I want to hear about your Lightbringer experience. Tell me,
Insta reaction.
what were your thoughts? What
Big-
was your
big
experience
hitters.
like? Yeah. Hit it all for me.
It was. I mean, it was grueling. I thought, and it was grueling in a different way because when you read these books,
Because you
too, I've
used to like Lysander? I'm just
I
kidding.
did. I fucking did. We will
I was
get
like-
more into that later. God, I hate you guys. But, no, it was a lot to take in, and especially with like we're so used to. I don't know, like we're so used to just like the grind of war, especially now. Like Iron Gold was just so traumatizing. Like I feel like I still have like PTSD from that book. I really do. It's a lot, and it is. I mean, I don't know how many pages that book but it's like 900 pages of just like an ass whooping, and everyone from Virginia to Darrow to Severo, like everyone across the board just gets a fucking tooth knocked out. And like as much as I wanted to like
In
root for,
Dark
you
Age?
know,
Yeah.
Dark Age.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it was just such a sloth, like a slug through that entire book because it was so. And I'm a glutton, and I'm a glutton for pain. So I've listened to that book like probably like 50 times, and I've probably read it like
Yeah.
15 in the past like 2 years, or 3 years, 5 years.
Some people say Dark Age was their favorite. I'm like, you
I
guys
know.
are gnarly.
Yeah.
Dark Age is my favorite.
No
Yeah.
way.
I love Dark.
You
I
like
love
being
Dark Age.
punished?
Yes, and then of course second is always Golden Sun. I don't give a fuck what
Yeah.
the Phantom says. Golden Sun
Nice.
is always second.
You don't like a
Um,
happy ending.
I guess I don't. Now that we really talking about it. Though. Yeah, and Iron Gold to me was a big build up, and but Dark Age was just like I've listened to that last 5 chapters more times than I could like, and I've gone back and highlighted and reread it so many times too because like. When you are someone like us who've been with the fandom and with the series since like literally the jump, since like we're going on damn near 10 years now,
Yeah.
and when you see these characters and these emotions get pulled through it, it's insane to see. So when I read Lightbringer, it was almost like, and like don't judge me, but like I didn't think I knew who Darrow was anymore going through the book. This was not the Darrow. Like I know the Reaper, and maybe that's because that's the way my brain works. That's how I read the books. But like, I was more used to the Reaper, so I was kind of shook seeing Darrow and Darrow becoming who he is, and then like because we're doing full spoilers, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And then getting the fucking
Spoiler
boy band
warning.
back. Spoiler warning for everyone across the fucking world. But to get the boy band back together of Darrow, Cassius, and Severo, I was just like, all right, like, dude, I'm fucking, and like, dude, they go through the Apollonius thing. They spring themselves around, and then it's just misery. So we're going through this. It's the same old Severo in a mech suit in a hallway, and fucking Cassius and Darrow. They've never lost like a step. You know, they're still banging. They're still in tandem, which is insane to me because you have to be in, like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in martial arts or if you guys ever boxed or any of that stuff. Like when your body motions.
No, I have never been hit in the face.
It's not as fun as it looks. I'm telling you. That's why I have to call. That's why I put my headphone in. No, but like to see them all rejoin together, you're just like, fuck yeah, dude, this is the fucking shit. And then they get out the other end, and like it's just that madness of sitting on a ship together. Like everything's awkward, everything hurts, you know. And this is even before we find out about Ulysses or anything else. Like, you know, there's so much that's unsaid between Darrow and Severo, which I think pulls us all at our heartstrings because everyone has a best friend, you know, and everyone has someone that will drag their life through fire for you. And to see someone that has done that and then did it, and now you had to do it for them in return. And he's kind of like, why'd you even fucking rescue me? Like, I've been fucking chilling in duck pipes and eating rats.
Yeah.
And what was he taking? Dicks? No, I'm sorry. He was taking ears.
He thought about dicks.
Dicks were
He
too
talked
big.
about
They're too heavy. Yeah.
The gold.
Well, you know, the
dicks
gold.
were too
I mean,
heavy.
you know, the golds, man. They fucking hanging.
Right.
But no, so like the fact that that's the first. Sorry, it's been a while, but that's the first quarter of the book. It set the stage for what I think Pierce really wanted to accomplish with more character building. And like I've seen the interviews and I've looked at the other stuff, and like even fast forwarding into like, because we don't have to do the chapter, we're doing the whole thing right now, right?
Yeah, just your whole
even,
reaction to the book. Yeah,
but even propelling yourself into something like the conversation with Quicksilver, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when I first read the books, I was not a father. I didn't know what having kids was. I didn't know what being a father was or having to protect my household was.
And
then
now
I read
three.
the books, and I have two. The third one's due in like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh!
We're working on it.
You sold your unborn child earlier. You said you sold all 3 kids.
I'll fuck you. No, Nawani I want to keep. My oldest I want to keep. You can have the boys.
Okay.
They're fucking crazy. But like now as a father and like rereading these chapters, and I'm not like the Quicksilver thing, and we'll talk about it another day, probably like off, but like I read it initially because I read the books first and then I listen to them, and then when I see something or I hear something that I want to like revisit, I'll go back and reread it, like because reading it I feel holds so much more weight to me. And so listening, like reading it, and almost like as a father, like pushing it out of my mind, you know, and just kind of being like, I can't fucking imagine. And then listening to it, which is even more horrific, and then going back and rereading it, the father-son dynamic through these entire books between Fishner and Severo, Darrow and his father, you know, now, you know, with I'm drawing who were just with Quicksilver and his children that we never fucking knew about. And if you're gonna tell me, if you're a parent out there and you're listening to this and you're gonna tell me that you wouldn't do that to that gold, I fucking would. In a heartbeat.
I don't know if I do that to anyone. That's brutal.
I think opening up these dynamics in this book is so much, to like round it out, is so much different than what we've seen in the last 5 books. You know, the last 5 books have been so engaged in the war, the scale, the dynamics.
Yeah, we're
of like
kind of starting to come back.
We're starting to pull back to that very first book where we see how vulnerable Darrow really truly can be, how Quicksilver really can be, how Cassius really can be, you know, like, and like I think people forget too that Cassius, I mean, Ben, I know you love Cassius and shit, I love Cassius now, but
Watch what you say.
yeah, no, I don't watch it. But like seeing all of these like father-son dynamics through the books, and now how they're all kind of like culminating, because like what even broke my heart even more was when Virginia went to go visit Pax at the, and I know it's a very brief, I know it's a very blip. I don't think enough people talk about it because I've listened to other podcasts, I've heard other.
I
like,
teared up the second time through it.
It kind of
I bet you did. You have children.
Well, dude, if my daughter, because my daughter's my oldest, and my daughter's like my shadow. Like, I love her to death and shit. If my daughter came out to me and approached me like that, even if I was a sovereign, it would take a toll. But then, you know, Virginia has to like be that person in that spot at that time. You know, what else was fucking crazy in the book?
What did you think of Vol
I mean-
Sung Fa?
Yeah.
Tell me about
Confess.
Dude, I'm not. I'll
Clang,
tell you
clang,
what,
clang.
dude. I hope,
Gosh.
like, don't like. I like how it played out.
Yeah.
I really hope Pierce isn't listening to this, but I was a little bit disappointed in the play out of Volsung Fa because like
You didn't
in
like
my
that he
mind-
was like a pixie.
I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like he was a bitch. Like look,
Yeah.
given to get to the point that you're at, to be that person, be Ragnar. Obviously, you've had to come so far, and I wish
Yeah.
his first two lives would have bled a little bit more into his last life, a lot more. Because when we finally meet him and we finally see it, like and you guys know how much I fucking stand for Obsidians. Like,
Yeah.
Pierce named me Little Ragnar. Like, dude, like
And he was like the biggest, baddest.
and like he was the fucking Obsidian, you know. And to hear him like and like to read about how he like wears a velvet robe and he has to take this voice margin. This motherfucker was he was a menace in Dark Age. This dude was this dude like started Pierce on his horror writing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like he let but at the same time, like how it rounded out with like his troops and his people really truly seeing who he was, it did make sense in the long run. Because like if you are working for someone like fucking Atlas, which is like insane, and I do like that dynamic between someone like Atlas, who we have seen as just like a prime prim gold, who's really about war, who really is what's it? I'm not up to date as much as I used to be. He's the
Fear Knight.
The Fear Knight. You want to talk about someone being the Fear Knight? That is the fucking Fear Knight. Like that
He's
guy's
terrifying.
shit.
Yeah.
You know that guy
So
is
scary.
terrifying man. Across the board. You know,
And
the
just
fact that
like
he would
every
just-
single chapter of the book, he got scarier. It was just like everything he did was
Until
just,
he died. But is it him who died? No, just kidding.
That's what I'm fucking saying. But I will and like to like I don't. Excuse me, we're jumping around, dude. The dust maker scene. Where he's actually
Dustwalkers.
yeah.
the dust,
Or-
but he's
No,
actually
he's talking about the Helios
Oh,
dust maker.
oh,
yeah.
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 I was,
the
dude, I literally was sitting
gauntlet.
there reading. I was just like, that is prime. That is chef's kiss. Good
Yes.
story writing because and it just goes back to the way the golds are built. Like they don't give a fuck about. And this is
Yeah, they're
and the only
ruthless.
reason I'm like going through this whole thing is so we can talk about Lysander is like when you look at people like Atlantia is a fucking sycophant, right? She's a fucking psychopath. She
Yes.
Yeah.
has no chance being fucking, you know, anywhere near sane ever again. But if you talk to if you talk to someone like Romulus, if you talk to someone like Diomedes, if you talk to someone like, even like Dio or fucking like the Fear Knight, they're not so concerned about being powerful or being emperor or imperatus or fucking or sovereign or anything. They want the people to stay in line for the future of the human race. They want people to fall in line and be privy to the fact that like this is all a joint effort. This is all a joint
Right.
effort. It doesn't seem like it.
Shepherds.
I know. I just
Where
read
have
that
all the
fucking chapter,
shepherds
right?
gone?
Where have all the dude? I can picture my where have all the shepherds gone? Like, dude, dude, reading those chapters this is before I found out what he did at the end. But I was just like, that's my man right there. That's my man.
Oh, no. Well,
He's
now
not
that we're
anymore.
talking about it, let's address the elephant in the room. You've been a loon supporter until you read this book. Can we...
Invictus. Invictus.
I want to hear
Like,
like
when in this book were you like, fuck, now I have to rescind my former
Spoilers, when
support?
he put a fucking bullet in fucking Cassius's head. You know what?
That,
I can't
it
forgive.
took that long?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. I can forget. I don't forget a lot of shit, and like everyone knows my Instagram now. But I will forgive Alexander. Okay, time and place, shitty situation across the board. Okay,
Yeah.
Rona, sorry your jaw got fractured. Yeah, I get it. But you fuck with Cassius, like, dude, one of the prime guys from the beginning, man. I also, since we're on that, I cannot fucking believe. I know Pierce had, like, I hope he has a wheelbarrow to carry his fucking balls around. How fucking huge they are. Doing that. Like,
Yeah.
Killing Cassius.
I read that and I literally thought like, yo, like he's gonna pop back up, or it was a fucking clone, or like, and then the book ends and I'm just like, bet.
Nope, he's
so
dead.
obviously I don't like Loon. I really don't
And-
like fucking Loon.
Yeah.
Going into the book, what were you hoping for Lysander?
I mean, and everyone knows too, I had really high expectations, especially when it was like I was in the room when Pierce Brown released the names of the books and like he solidified like, oh, like Lightbringer, and like when you talk about Selenius or his lineage and stuff, like, oh, like Loon, Moon, like reflection of the sun, like he's bringing the light. I could even get through it when he was even like, you know, talking about like renaming the Lightbringer, and like I could even forgive, like I was really hoping he would let go of the mind's eye, really dig deep as a militant and like as a general and as like someone who wants to be sovereign through this book, somehow maybe kill Atlantia, honestly, because that bitch is that
Still might do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. He could still do that.
if he's got the gonads, but like that lady's scared too. That whole family lineage is just terrifying.
I was saying that last week in the podcast. Like, Atalantia is just such a fun character at this point. She's
Yeah.
so
She's
like
so evil.
mustache twirling evil.
Are you fucking kidding me?
it's good.
That lady's terrifying. That lady like
Yeah,
nightmares.
she's scary.
That whole family.
But also
Because she'll do
she
anything.
revels in it though. She's like having so much fun at the same
fucking
time.
love my legions.
Yeah, but
I have a
like
good
also,
idea.
dude, she's in like Death House's fucking.
Yeah,
doing
she's got some
really
sick
naughty
twisted. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lysander ain't never
No,
done that
she's
shit.
evil.
Lysander ain't never done that shit. And like honestly, when the book opened and the first couple Lysander chapters came and went, I was really hoping like, because the dude's still honorable. The fact that he stood in the place of 120, what was it called, on the platform in Rome.
Yeah, in the Rome.
Oh, the
I wanna call
200,
The 200.
the Colosseum.
The 200.
Is it
It
200?
was in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he knuckled down and stood up to Atlantia, especially after fucking everyone getting like taken and his like dude Atlantia like he had to give up Glastries,
Yeah,
which was
Glacis,
another
yeah.
one where I was like, damn, Pierce is really setting shit up, because we all, even though he worked for the bad guys, we all grew to love him in Dark Age because he was a true patriot for his planet. That dude really thought and really wanted.
And he
people
was
to be
good at
well.
inventing and fixing things.
Yeah.
He's a master.
I mean,
maker.
it was a great speech. We got to give Lysander that.
Yes. And he really did love Glorastes, but he sold him.
That's what we were saying last week. Is like this is I felt like this
That's
was kind
a
of
turning point.
turning point for him, where it's like it's not. You can tell that it's hurting him emotionally that he has to kill Glorastes, or he's killing Glorastes by what he's doing, but at the same time he's doing it because his goal is larger, and
He wants to bring peace.
I know. I just feel like it's the first in many steps where it's just like Lysander's willing to do whatever it takes.
And I'm just gonna say that's what I've been saying for the last like 100 years. But
It got ugly in
But-
this book.
Yeah, it got ugly.
it got
On
really
his
and
side.
like and even and it's been a while since I've like really like talked to anyone about this too. Like, Ben, I'm asking Aaron. I'm not asking you. Was Cassius is he worth the sacrifice for the betterment of the people?
You're asking Ben?
No, I'm asking you because I already know Ben's answer. This is a biased conversation.
I don't think Cassius's death betters anybody.
I agree.
That really hit me hard. We'll obviously talk about it when we get to those chapters, but I really wish Cassius would have walked away.
Yeah. He couldn't though.
He could have been like, "Hey, Darrow, Lysander has a bioweapon.
He said, "I must.
I must."
I must."
Yeah.
Anyways,
Chivalry fucking.
you mustn't.
I know.
So-
It really threw me. It did. I did not.
Do you feel
Even, like-
empty now? Like now that you're letting Loon and Victus go, are you championing anyone else? 'Cause you kind of liked not.
I think you just
Doing what
really
everyone
have
else
to.
did,
I think
you
you have
know?
to really throw in with the Obsidians now, don't you?
So like after hours and hours of therapy at this point, talking about Lysander, and coming to terms with the fact that he was not the man that I thought he was in our relationship.
Yes.
I don't really know. I mean, if there was anyone in the book that obviously I want to throw in with Darrow, because that's my boy, that's my boy from the jump. But like, if I was gonna throw in with anybody, I don't know if the Obsidians are ready. Honestly, I don't know if Volga's ready. I don't know if Lyra is ready to be part of that. I think Lyra had a pretty big coming to terms with herself in this book because of the fact that like, everyone has superpowers. Everyone's fucking invincible. Everyone's a fucking dragon. Like, no pun intended, but like everyone's a dragon. Everyone's a monster. When you get out of the fucking mines and you let go of something that could have, and I swear to God, dude, when I heard him say that Red God was gonna be the 7th book, I was like, fucking Lyria, done. Like he's
someone else. Did you say that? Someone said that.
So it was several people had sent that into this. Yeah,
because she's gonna become like this crazy.
She would have been a Red God.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's still dormant? You think it's hanging out in there? You think Mateo did the sneaky? I don't know, because now she's like, dude, when she was like literally like
he can activate her.
They've fucked off though. They're in the next galaxy over.
But
Mateo and Quicksilver. These are good questions.
Just an asteroid like rolls up to Mars,
and then Lyria's like, beep, 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 beep.
And they all actually roll out, and they're all fucking just like Obsidians times 10. It's like these like meshed
all the little
with,
kids,
like, golds are just like
robots
now.
fucking everywhere.
Man.
Let's talk about this week's chapters. So we just got done going through chapter summaries. Our theme for this week, really good start to this like battle on Phobos and on Mars. So what were you thinking like at this point? We like Lysander's got a pretty good strategy. How are you evaluating the chapters and the first time, and then coming back here like the second time you're rereading them?
Yeah, Lysander falling in the rain. He threw up in his spit tube. I don't know if you noticed that he's a bitch.
So did Darrow. So did Cassius. So did Severus.
Darrow didn't throw up.
Right?
I think he did. Fuck. Yeah.
They all threw up. Or at least they swallowed it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But even like, but also talk about
shit your suit though.
But also talk about like world building from someone like Pearson. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
Just to get off on a second, like, dude, when they talk about like Lysander taking the spit tubes from the place that like Darrow's people used to go in the spit tubes. And
I love that line.
And there's like stains and stuff. It's just like, I didn't think, and I've read a lot of books. I've read all the Ender games. I'm a huge Dune person. You know, I rip through like fiction podcasts. I'm a big story guy. I fucking love make believe. I love pretend. I love space operas. And I didn't think that Pierce Brown could improve. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am so glad that he slagged fucking like 800 pages out of the first fucking book. Because this dude just like painting pictures, man. He just out here just doing the damn thing. But leading up to this battle, one, I didn't ever think it was going to happen. Because everyone's been talking about fucking attacking Mars for a millennia, you know? And like the way they describe it, like obviously Mars is impenetrable, especially with Phobos and the way they build it up and everything. I was like, my thing was, if there was a ranking system, right? If there was like a you like sports, right? You guys like balls and throwing stuff. If there was like a ranking system, like
I like balls.
Love balls.
I fucking adore them. Dude, I don't want to fuck with like Darrow and Severo. My second place is I don't want to fuck with Virginia or
Victra.
I mean. And like the fact that like when she's talking about like, you know, like, women's scorn or whatever, like that was the best you can come up with, like, like what do you think it meant when like they've sold my husband as meat and they've nailed my kid to a fucking tree.
Wrath
like,
IMD.
I was just like, Wrath IMD.
She's like, I'm gonna be fine. I got this.
Anytime Victor shows up in this book, she's being a badass.
Oh, she's just on 100. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and I think this is giving Victra a lot of justice too. I mean, she is like probably like my top 4 or 5 characters in the book series because we don't get enough from her. But I think Pierce does that on purpose because she is a closed off person. Like she's written that way. Her personality is that way. So the whole thing with Darrow in the gardens and just like being like on guard with him and him being on guard with her. I think that's how she's written on purpose. But like now that we're seeing, like, holy shit! Not only are you a fucking babe, not only are you a gangster, but like, dude, you are literally like tearing through people. You can command a whole fleet. You like spoilers ahead. You fucking can tear off Ajax's fucking head.
Yes.
You know, like
so
I know Thrax
satisfying.
the hell.
And pound your chest.
Oh, dude, I can picture it. You know, I can see it in my mind's eye. You know,
Yeah.
no pun intended. But like leading up to this, it was very much like I was happy that it finally like happened, but I was also very nervous because like I think a big part of these chapters, especially 18 through 25, is scale. You know, because we read these books a lot of time, like we really like I have a hard time understanding scale, but when they talk about moving millions of people off of Phobos or to like places in Phobos, I'm like, how do you even like picture that in your mind?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And talking about like having a show one day and like, you know, we look at Game of Thrones, we look at the Halo series, you know, we look at all these different shows, you know, it's hard to grasp that in your mind's eye. Sorry. But as like,
Hey,
how many things
no
are
more
really-
mind's eye.
I just
We're off
live in mind's
alone.
eye all the time. But no, I think these chapters do a good job in just like understanding where like Virginia and, you know, Victra stand with this coming in. You know, they would love to be with their husbands, they would love to be standing with them, but like they can't all have each other. And like the respect that Victra's built to Virginia because they were so rocky in the last book is very inspiring.
Definitely. And I like what you said about scale. And like, I thought
Yeah.
just thinking back about the way this battle was written, it's actually like very easy to follow what's going on, and you're in it and you get like what Lysander's goal is and what he's trying to do. And you can see the scale, and then you can see how like Mustang's trying to counteract that, and like how her strategy is going to work. Like, yes, he's gotten the shield down. Yes, he's dumping all these soldiers onto the moon and they're burrowing into the inside, but she's trying to trap them in there, and then basically you have a kill box and just get rid of them all, and you're like, oh, she's almost there. And he just makes that seems like so complicated.
I know. I was gonna say, so my first time through I listened, and then the second time through I read. I've been reading the book, and like it is easier to follow and understand because I keep like rereading, like, oh, okay, because scale and then location confuses me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that
wait,
was
where
another
are
big
we?
one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like the rereads, because I'm not as anxious about what's going to happen because I know story wise. So then I can focus on like those cool details that Pierce adds to build that scale.
One thing I really loved was when Lysander shot out the spit tube, and then he's all like disoriented because
he's like, I'm an insect
flying towards the moon, but Mars is in like, and it's like you're in space. And that would be so crazy.
and I think he's written that way very well, because like we hark back to like Dark Age with his like comfort, like we brush away light resistance, you know, and the fact that like he's finally, and like I'm not standing over like Lysander anymore or anything, but I'm just saying he's become a very not profitable, what's the word, like he's proficient commander, leader, soldier. You know, he's seen the lid on. He's gone through it. He's the one that fucking came home with Darrow's scythe and stuff.
For sure. Yeah,
he's a great strategist. You know, with the Lightbringer and bringing that in and stuff. But like the scale and like the fact that he's like anything can happen right now, and like the fact that Pierce is mentally unstable. Like he could have just pulled Lysander out of the air in a second. Yeah, you know. Yeah, which is like insane. But like, dude, the moment he hits that planet, he's like, okay, we're here. Let's gang shit. Let's fucking get these fucking Dude, like I would love.
He's ready to kill everybody.
And you have to be like if you were in that situation, you would have to be just like so overly abundant in just aggression and just like being part of this fucking conundrum.
Either that or you'd be frozen.
Yep. And I think that's a great call out, like about what you said about Lysander, like being in danger, in like real danger, because for me, this section of the book, like honestly, I thought Mustang was going to get dirted during this. Like, I was like, is he really going to do this? Like, is he going to do this?
I kept thinking, who's going to save Mustang? Because she can't die.
And I was like, and he's earned that credibility, you know? Like, he's got that.
Yeah.
I would believe
at least take her hostage. Or Apple take her,
When he's trying to, like, penetrate the actual sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was gnarly too, because then they like when Kavix like shouts out like, yo, like he's aping Darrow with the but then Virginia like turns on her heel and just like, no, he's like evolved it, because now there's pods on top of the claw drills that release berserkers, and then 2 golds per Berserker Legion.
Crazy,
to
yeah.
follow, and I'm just like, why didn't Darrow do that in Morningstar, bro? Like, why are you thinking, man?
Yeah.
Dude, we could have saved Rogue.
We're adding to it.
That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a glut
Well,
of pain.
it's really exciting. We wanted to open the floor.
Yes, the
Before
last
we
thing that
wrap up.
before we wrap up the interview, we do want to give you, the stage for you to apologize for just years of Lysander truthery.
You could wait for like the later.
This is your
If
platform.
you want to take it, yeah, you are coming back. The spoilers. He is coming back at the end of the season to
Yeah,
talk.
maybe we'll wait for this.
If you want to think about that
because
and
he
just
doesn't feel bad yet.
craft like a written
No,
apology or something like that, we can
I
we can
got it,
post
I
a
got it.
statement,
No.
whatever.
No, I get it. As of right now,
He's not sorry yet.
I mean, because no. As of right, okay, I got it. As of right now, dude, shut up.
This is an official statement from Zeph Barbecue.
Erin's been running me for the past fucking like 3 years on this shit. Dude, she's been waiting for this moment for so long.
How dare you?
As of right now, how the chapters stand, I mean, he does suck, and like we know what's coming at the end. But like as of right now, like, dude, I would really like to apologize, to absolutely fucking no one. Because we're not to the end of the book yet, all right? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. He still can redeem himself right now. He still
That's
can
an
redeem himself.
official quote.
The official statement is out
Fucking
there.
at me. Find me on Instagram. Find
We
me.
appreciate
and my
you.
personal page is zeph.daddy. Come find me. Let me know how you feel.
I know there
Okay,
were
we're
a few times I was talking to like Cross and stuff. I was like calling you Zeph Daddy, and I'm like, why do I keep calling him Zeph Daddy? And I was like, oh, it's your Instagram.
like all fucking bullshit. I had to
I'm like,
separate,
did I
the
come
business
up
and
with
the-
that myself, Zeph Daddy?
Did you?
It flows right off the tongue. No, I don't think
Were
so.
you the one that said that originally?
No.
So I made my personal page, and she's like, no.
I pulled my
Oh,
headphones
man.
out.
Well,
We
this
got-
has been incredibly fun. And
Yes.
we
All right, we got
absolutely
84 Lysander, Hanger 17B. That is
Yeah.
64 more chapters, right? As of right
We'll
now.
wait.
y'all can-
We'll await our apology.
Yes.
I'll
So
see you in,
we'll
like,
talk.
a
We'll,
month and a
we'll have
half.
you back, and we appreciate you coming on so much. This has been an awesome
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you for gracing us with your famous presence.
Tell the people
Yeah,
one more
you-
time where they can find you.
You can find me at zeph.barbecue on Instagram. You can find me at zeph.daddy on Instagram for my personal page. Go watch me on Netflix. It is streaming all the way through. All episodes are out. Barbecue Showdown Season 2. I'm on a lot of Tastemade stuff. I have a couple things on Food Network. Just Google me and all my shit comes up. You
He's
can
a
hear
fucking
about how
star.
much I fucking-
And look at his food porn.
Yeah, you can hear about how much I loved Lysander like 3 years ago. On Winter House podcast.
Yes, you
Also
can go
on
back and listen
Whiskey
to our old
podcast.
HowlerPod episodes.
Yes, yes.
And I am into this week Scavenger's Reign.
Oh, okay.
What's it called?
What's that?
It's a show on HBO which really stemmed off of an old show off of Adult Swim back in the day. But now there's a full 12 episode. They're 20 minutes apiece. It's super cerebral. It's very fucking psychedelic.
Savage's Reign?
Scavenger's Reign.
Scavenger's Reign. I'm gonna check
Scavengers.
that out.
Scavenger's
But very
Reign.
like
That
very
sounds like something we
space,
would like.
very- Yes.
I like space. We'll look it up.
Right.
All right.
I've been thinking about that
Well,
all
fuck.
day because that was my favorite part. What are you into this week?
We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for being our special guest, and
Yes.
we'll talk to you on the pod in a few episodes.
Yes,
Well-
down the line here.
I don't know how many there are.
I don't know, 10
Scared.
or so.
I'm scared.
Yes. And we're back after our commercial break with our special guest, Logan, aka Zeph Barbecue. Thank you so much.
Logan, you're amazing. We love you, brother.
He's so fun.
So much fun.
I feel like I love Red Rising, but I don't know. I feel like he likes it more than me.
Passionate man.
Passionate about cooking. Seriously, if you haven't followed him, go follow him at Zeph
Yes.
Barbecue.
And if you're in the Southern California area,
Go eat.
seek that man's barbecue out
I want to eat.
and eat it for me.
I want to eat his food for sure.
All right, let's move on to the Prime 5.
Oh, you skipped your favorite section, but there was no Cassius.
Yeah, there's no Cassius in these chapters. So
how was Cassius hilarious today? He probably was in the background. We just don't know.
In the ship. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At some
I'm
point.
sure he's joking.
Maybe hanging out with the sloth.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Prime 5. 5 of our favorite insights and observations from this week's chapters.
First, Prime 5, we've got some more Praetorian shadiness going on.
Now I'm noticing all of them.
I know.
Ajax was like, are you sure they're not going to
and
shoot
he's like,
me out of the ship?
they're loyal to me.
And he's like, are they? It's like, no, dude.
He's like, I tell them what to do. They work for me, not the other way around. And it's like, oh, are you sure about that?
We don't.
It's that meme. Are you sure about that?
You sure?
Are you sure?
And also,
I liked how Ajax called them an uppity breed. Praetorians are an uppity breed.
Yeah, as if golds aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
As if Ajax isn't the most uppity. And then also there was some more Praetorian stuff with Roan and the cape.
Yes. He was not happy about
he
the
like
cape.
flew by and like glared.
And we know that
round.
that was kind of like the inciting event for a lot of the Praetorians where they were like final straw with Lysander.
Yeah, like we
learned
are
that
your ride or
later
dies,
on.
not these hell divers.
And he's like, and you gave it to the red, and that was really kind of that was the kind of the final nail in the coffin for Roan.
Don't you think the coffin was already nailed?
Well, he says that later on in the book.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Like, how long has Roan been fierce?
I think he's been moving that way, like as Lysander gets closer and closer to the Moonies, and he's trying to court them.
Oh, really?
And
It's not like the whole time Roan's been a sleeper agent?
I don't think it's like, I think there's some back and forth. And I think he's kind of waffling a little bit because he basically says at the end of the book, like, you giving the cloak to that fucking red.
Yeah.
That's really what did it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So
it's in like every set of chapters we're talking about right now is Praetorian weirdness.
And there's a mention or an offhand comment or like even if there's no weirdness, there's like a statement like, no, they're loyal.
Yeah. Yep.
So Pierce is really hitting that hard.
Yep.
Next Prime 5 that we have for me is Victra picking up Virginia and spinning her around. I thought that was lovely. I was like, can Victra please pick me up and spin me around?
Yeah, me too.
She definitely could pick you up and spin you around. And then like Pierce is starting to drop these descriptions of how badass Victra is, and then we obviously will get more in the next set of chapters.
And we've got to really savor our Victra time here because
we don't get a lot.
It's fleeting.
Yes.
And so I do want to read this passage because I think it's just fucking beautiful, this description of Victra. He says, she may be looking at the sea, but she is standing before Ulysses' grave. Victra is daunting to behold in either peace or war. Her stature is tyrannical. Tall, broad, muscular, with knives for cheekbones. Her nature matches, proud, brutal, voluble. But in her is a font of love that glows so hot it burns from her from the inside out. For years I did not see that. I saw only her sharp edges. Now I love her and realize she was the sister I never wanted, but always needed.
Wow. Lovely. So beautiful.
So beautiful. And I just love, like, it just, that is so perfect. It's just such a perfect description of her and her character, especially at this moment. And then we get this great line from her in this section as well, where, you know, she says, do not fear for me. Pity them.
Pity them.
Because I'm fucking coming.
Yes. Wrath, I am the, and it's also a lot of Victra, or Virginia appreciating Victra moments.
Yep.
Like appreciating when she sees the humanity of Darrow by making like an offhand comment of Darrow like not wanting his troops to die and stuff. So we love Victra. We stand. We really do want more Victra in the next book. We felt robbed after. I mean, Dark Age, we got a lot of Victra.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a lot of our favorites in the next book. We got to. We're gonna be hanging out on Mars a lot.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the next one. I got to just send out a hearty salute and pour one out for Centurion Murani Lagarde. She's the one who sacrificed her life to go down into the radioactive shield reactor.
You remembered her name.
Get it turned back on.
Yes.
She is a fucking hardcore
She was like,
legend.
that's a loon up there. And
Yeah.
Virginia's like, yeah.
Yep.
She's like, all right,
I
I'm
got this.
go radioactive.
My body's going to fall apart in 15 minutes because
Great.
it's so radioactive, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to do this. And she got that motherfucking shield back on. It didn't work, but we salute you regardless.
That's great. It helped for a little while.
It did. It looked like we were going to win there for a minute. So I
Thank
just wanted
you.
to call that out and I loved like the back and forth in that section is so
Yeah.
like the orange is like, I can't send anybody down there. And it's like, you've got to fucking send
Virginia's
somebody
like, I'll
down
do it.
there.
Right.
Like, and then she's listening on the open line and like, I'll fucking do this.
Yeah.
Just a fucking badass.
Next on the Prime 5 is shout out to TGR, the audiobook narrator, Tim Gerard Reynolds. This scene where you're in the comms, Mustang's listening to the chatter, it is like prime audiobook acting.
Yes. If you don't listen to the audiobooks and you're like looking for a reason to,
or just listen to this chapter.
find someone who owns the audiobooks and just listen to that,
Yeah.
or just like get the audiobook and listen to it just for this. Cause like it's incredible.
I made you listen to it on the,
yes.
was on the way back from HowlerPod.
Yeah. HowlerCon. Yeah.
HowlerPod. HowlerCon. Yes, I'm not going to ape him because he does it so well, but
he kills it. And there's like 6 different voices.
and it's like, it feels like the different voices overlapping. It really feels like Mustang listening, and then she like jumps in when someone's like, is anyone listening? It's really good. He does the same
good.
too when Roan is like yelling at all his Praetorians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
It's
great.
So much fun.
TGR appreciation.
That section is just so much fun, and just like them trying to stop the society forces from getting into
and you hear the
different floors. Yeah.
And he's like, it's great. That's pretty good. I should
good.
do
Maybe
it.
you should do it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. What's up next?
You want to take
Number
the last
5
one?
of our Prime 5.
You can take this one.
I wanted to say for me, not for Logan, obviously, this is where Lysander becomes a real prick.
He's
already a prick.
Yeah.
But this is where you're like, okay, dude, like we get it. You're a space racist. But he's like thinking of glory and daydreaming. He's like, what will my peace bring?
I really like that moment.
He's
got
like
under
up.
my
He's
skin.
like, and Ajax is like, dude, get the fuck down. You're about
Yeah.
to get blown up. He's like looking at the Drachenjägers and everyone dying, and he's like, I'll look back on this, like basically with fondness.
Yeah.
Like I did all this for peace, you know? And it's like, oh, you enslaved people again for peace? Great.
Right.
And then also when he's talking about the Helldivers and they're expendable, so planning for like hyping him up before they all go die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the worst one is the who's the bug now when the green lady boils.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What do you... And when he's falling in the rain, he says he feels like an insect, and then he lands and he feels all powerful, and he's like, "Who's the bug now?" While she's like catching on fire. It's
from
just
a quadrille.
grotesque.
I know. Yeah, that moment where he's like looking out and thinking about what will my peace bring. That got really under my skin this time.
Yeah, it's just like you're gross.
Fuck off, dude.
Anyways,
that's a good call out,
Prime 5, number 5 is fuck Lysander.
As always. All right, now that we've finished our Prime 5, it's time to name our Primus of the Week, where we choose the one character who conquered our proctors of plot and rose above the rest. Our Primus of the Week is...
It's Mustang.
Yeah, we're not giving this to Lysander. Fuck him.
No, not this week.
Why are we choosing Mustang?
Mustang, first of all, general badassery.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of these chapters, she brings Screwface into the fold by
Giving him some love.
giving him
some
attention
TLC.
and seeing that he needs that, you know, more than the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
being compassionate, and then also fucking running this shit.
Yep.
Like, this is her first battle, and she's just doing amazing.
She almost
wins.
beats Lysander.
Yeah.
Almost beats him. And really, if she would have had some, better fighters, probably
and
more golds,
She needs
more
more
obsidians.
Yeah. Well, she
Yeah.
needs all of the legions that were lost on Mercury.
Yeah. So, shout out Mustang.
Great tactics.
We love you.
She's good at chess.
Yes.
To bring it full circle. What's next? Howler mailbag?
Let's go to the Howler mailbag. We've got an email from Cassie P.
Cassie P.
Tidbits. Tidbits time.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Cassie.
And by the way, after last week, I was like, after we recorded, I was like, oh man, I read the Andy Weir quotes wrong. Should have been like, question.
Oh.
But I don't know. I wasn't prepared
You
to.
did the voice wrong.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do the inhuman voice.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it now?
No, well, I don't want to like spoil anything either because everyone's mad about it. So, Cassie, I got you. It came later.
Since we had the special guest this week, we're just doing Cassie tidbits, but you can still email us voicemails. We'll play those next week as well. So keep sending those in. All right, Cassie.
And video voicemails. That was fun.
If we need to get another video voicemail.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to see your faces.
Cassie P says, "Low Howlers, I absolutely love the parallel and contrast between the gold pre-battle ritual and the rising dirge. Instead of invoking the names of those they hate, the dirge recalls the names of those they love. Rather than marking themselves with their own blood, the dirge marks the warriors with a bit of home, their courage coming not from themselves, but from their community. Hashtag Howler Nation."
Yes.
I don't know why I just did that. Number 2, Classic Pierce. What would an advanced space diving, Holland, Brawlin, claw drilling army be without an Aquilifer? That is the lion pelt wearing Roman soldier who bore the all-important legionary eagle. Aquila meaning eagle, Ferrer meaning to bring or carry. I'm guessing there's a compartment in the suit for it. I mean, they had a room for all them poles for butts on Mercury. Dark Age indirectly mentions these legionary eagles several times, but I guess the Catamite gets a dragon.
Wow.
Interesting Legion fact. Remember Legio X or Legio 10, Pardue, Legio 20, Fulminata, and Legio 25, Menage a Trois. Well, in Roman times, several legions could have the same number at the same time, so they always had a differentiating name that came after their numbers. Now, if you'll permit me, a bit of whimsical Lysander hate.
Yes, always.
How many moons will the Looney Loons slag because the Looney Loons are apex assholes?
I like that. That should be a shirt with like Looney Tunes coming out of the bullseye, you know?
I like it. Thank you, Cassie P.
Cassie P.
Looking forward to more tidbits as the season
Ride
goes
or die
on.
tidbits.
All right, Erin, you know what it's time for?
What are we into this week?
Erin, what are you into this week?
I'm into a show on HBO. I'm watching season 2 now of The Gilded Age. This is
This sounds right up your alley.
I know. I love period dramas. I tried to make Ben's girlfriend watch Pride and Prejudice, the version with Keira Knightley, and she fell asleep immediately.
30 seconds.
Like, it was still in the opening, like, piano scene.
In your defense of period dramas, she does that with pretty much every movie.
Okay, great.
Ever.
But The Gilded Age is, it's set in New York in the 1880s, 1890s, and it's great. It's, you know, the society, high class, plus their house servants, and all the relationships that go with it.
What's it on?
HBO.
Okay. Or Max.
Sorry, it's on Max. Doesn't even make
Really
sense.
good branding there.
But the costuming and the movie sets are beautiful. Like, it's clearly an expensive show.
Nice.
I just like it. It's like a it doesn't give me anxiety like all these other fucking shows. It's an easy watch.
Yeah.
And I like to like crochet while I watch it, so then I'm like doing my needlework. With the ladies
It's
of the
appropriate.
house.
Yeah.
Ben, what are you into this week?
I'm into a podcast called The Wedding Scammer.
Okay.
And it's like a true crime podcast. Every once in a while I'll dabble in a little true crime.
Okay.
And this
I probably would like this.
This is a good one. It was 7 episodes, and I was listening to it week to week, but now all 7 episodes are out. So
Nice.
that I was waiting to suggest it to
I
people
see.
until it
to
was
make
done.
sure you know the ending.
Well,
too.
also just it was torture, like
to
waiting
wait.
week to week
Yeah.
for this mystery to unravel.
When the first serial came out with
Yeah.
Adnan Syed,
Yeah.
that was torture too.
Oh, I know. I was listening to that week to
Yeah.
week. I went to a freaking like party to listen to the last episode. It's crazy.
Those were the days.
I know. Like, what were we doing?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Back when podcasts were new.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a good one. It's like about this con man, and he is just conning people all over. He's got several different cons. Like he's got a wedding con where he's like a wedding planner and then just like fucks people over. He also
Damn.
like tried to start like a startup like media website, and that's how the guy who made the podcast actually got involved with him. He got hired by him, and then like
wow.
the website just like fell apart in 2 weeks, and he didn't pay anybody.
So the podcast host was like, fool me once and
Yeah.
I'll make a podcast about
So
you.
then he's like, and the guy's very eccentric and kind of, you know, everyone's like, what is wrong with this dude? And he's telling all these stories about how he's like very rich and he's got this family trust and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but
Nice.
yes, it's a very good mystery. And then it's like becomes this guy's quest to like actually figure out who this person is and then like expose them, because they're just going through the world, several cities, like fucking people over constantly, and then never getting caught, because what they're doing is like illegal, but it's not illegal enough for anybody
it's not
to
like
care.
provable either.
Yeah, it's hard to prove, and just like cops don't give a shit about
Yeah.
this type of stuff.
Non-violent.
Yeah.
Small money.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like, and then like people would win judgments against him for money, but he would just never pay it. And then, so
Oh, I see.
it's a really good, it was a really good podcast. I definitely recommend. And now that it's all out, you can just like binge it and listen to it all at once. I was going week to week. That was difficult. So
Okay.
I would highly suggest
the
it.
wedding scammer.
The Wedding Scammer. Yeah.
All right. What do we do next week on HowlerPod?
All right. We're stepping into the labyrinth next week.
Oh, goodness.
Chapters 26 through 31. And we're going to have a special guest for this episode too.
Miles.
Miles Bensky will be here
He'll be here
in person.
on our set. This is a set.
This is a set.
This
is definitely
isn't
set.
a room in my house.
And we will be talking about, I think one of my favorite sections of the book is all I'll
yes.
say. I mean, just like,
yes.
I love these chapters. So good.
Get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. And Miles is, of course, our artist featured here. Okay, thanks, Howlers. Don't forget to follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I was like X. No, wait.
It is
Max. What are things called now? Yeah, follow us at HowlerPod. Visit us, HowlerPod.com. Special thanks to Miles for the episode art on our Instagram and Facebook. At Mbensky Designs is his Instagram. Also, special thanks to Nick Brinlow for the amazing voice work as always. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast
Yes.
and everywhere.
Like
Subscribe.
it, comment,
Smash that just subscribe button below.
share it. It just really helps out the channel,
It helps
guys.
out. Get some likes. I clearly don't watch YouTube.
No, that was pretty much it.
Nice,
You nailed
nice.
it.
And email us, howlermailbag, howlerpod@gmail.com. You can mail us or slide into our DMs with a video message or leave a voicemail at 1-800-516-1540.
Also,
And-
people always tell me they're scared to leave a voicemail, and I would just like to address these people
Don't
and
be
say,
scared.
don't be scared.
It can be anonymous.
It can be anonymous,
We'll just
number one.
make up a name.
And you can tell us not to play
Okay,
it, but
Sarah,
I still will. And
yeah, if you send it in, we're allowed to play it. Anyways, spread the word about the books. Of course, I set them up behind me finally with my beautiful dust jackets.
They look great.
Are those by PP?
Did you get your Lightbringer dust jacket?
Yes. No. No. I
have-
need to get it.
I think I have yours at my house.
Oh,
maybe.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is falling apart. Rate and review us. 5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we'll fly a ship into your moon. Is that dirty? But you won't like it.
You'll hate it.
So give us
It's
5
gonna
stars.
hurt real bad. All right. Thanks, Howlers.
OMNIS VIR LUPUS.
Ow.
Ow.